Artificial Witness, Episode 1. The Lindbergh Baby Kidnapping, America's Most Haunting Crime. It was 1932. One of the biggest crimes in American history shook the nation. A baby stolen right out of his nursery. A ransom note left behind. And the family, the Lindberghs, were the most famous people in the country. Charles Lindbergh was a hero, the man who flew across the Atlantic, but fame couldn't protect him from what was about to happen. On a quiet March night in Hopewell, New Jersey, his 20-month-old son disappeared without a trace. The ransom note demanding $20,000 in gold, and what followed turned into the most dramatic investigations the country had ever seen. The Lindberghs had built a large home away from the city, surrounded by woods and privacy. They were trying to escape the constant attention that came with being America's golden couple. That Tuesday night, the baby's nurse put him down around 9 p.m. By 10, the house was quiet. Too quiet. When Charles checked in on his son, the crib was empty. A window was open, and on the sill, a note, written in broken English, asking for ransom money. Police arrived within minutes, reporters not long after. The Lindbergh baby kidnapping hit the headlines across the world by the next morning. For weeks, the story dominated every newspaper, radio show, and dinner table conversation in America. Detectives found muddy footprints under the nursery window and a homemade ladder that had broken apart. No fingerprints, no blood, no sign of a struggle. Whoever did this seemed calm and experienced. Ransom letters started to arrive. The first one, and then another, and then another. Each had new instructions demanding the ransom be paid in specific gold certificates. The Lindberghs followed the directions exactly, handing over $50,000 through a mediator. But the baby never came home. Weeks passed, then months, and in May, the worst possible news arrived. About 4 miles from the Lindbergh estate, a truck driver found the remains of a small child. The autopsy confirmed the worst, and it was Charles Lindbergh Jr. He had been dead for almost as long as he'd been missing. For more than 2 years, investigators chased hundreds of leads. Then in 1934, a gas station clerk in New York accepted a $10 bill, one of the marked ransom notes. The serial number matched perfectly. Police traced it to a man named Bruno Richard Hauptmann, a 34-year-old German immigrant and carpenter. When they searched his garage, they found thousands of dollars and gold certificates hidden in the walls. Hauptmann claimed he was holding on to the money for a friend who had died, but handwriting experts said his writing matched the ransom notes. The evidence was enough to arrest him. The media exploded. "Lindbergh kidnapper caught" was splashed across every front page in the country. Hauptmann's trial began in January 1935 in Flemington, New Jersey. It became one of the first true media trials. Reporters packed the courtroom, and the public couldn't get enough. Charles Lindbergh himself took to the stand, pointing at Hauptmann and saying, "That's the man." The jury took just 11 hours to decide his fate. Guilty. Hauptmann was sentenced to death and executed the following year. But not everyone was convinced. Some investigators believed the police rushed the case. Others say the evidence was shaky, or that more people must have been involved. Even now, nearly a century later, the debate still hasn't ended. After the tragedy, the Lindberghs moved away from the public spotlight, eventually to Europe. The case haunted them for the rest of their lives. But it had also changed America. Congress passed what became known as the Lindbergh Law, making kidnapping a federal crime if victims were taken across state lines. It also changed how police worked with the press and the public. For the first time, crime had become a form of entertainment, and people couldn't look away. The Lindbergh baby kidnapping wasn't just a tragedy, it was a turning point. It marked the moment America realized that even its heroes weren't safe. If you found this story interesting, subscribe to Artificial Witness. We release new, animated crime stories every week, from infamous cases to the ones history forgot. Drop a like if you learned something new, and share this video with someone who loves true crime. And if you want to help the channel grow, comment below with a case you'd like to see covered next. Because the truth never sleeps, and neither do we.